Good morning, Kingsley community. Pastor Colleen Wehrman here, coming to you with another daily devotion for the 18th of October, Monday, 2021. The Chosen, Book 2. Again, not doing all of the Chosen book, just doing parts of it. Day 17, the test question, and tomorrow we'll have the test answer. From John 6, 5 through 6. Lifting up his eyes then, and seeing that a large crowd was coming toward him, Jesus said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread so that these people may eat?" He said this to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. So the writers write, some people don't test well. They're more tactical learners. Philip was one of those people. As soon as Jesus asked him where they could get bread for a gathering of more than 5,000 people, Philip went into logistics mode. They were only a few miles outside of his hometown, Bethsaida, so no doubt he racked his brain wondering where he could go and how he could make this thing happen. He couldn't, and finally concluded as much. He reported to Jesus that it would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each person to have a bite. Oh, Philip. This wasn't week one. He'd already seen plenty of miracles, hundreds maybe. At the very least, Philip should have known that when Jesus asks a question, it's not because he's the one who needs to hear the answer. Jesus didn't expect Philip to know exactly what he was about to do. How could he? He was testing Philip to see if his thinking was in the same stratosphere. Was Philip going to evaluate the situation naturally or look to the one who could fix it supernaturally? Would his answer involve faith and Jesus, or a calculator and a gold card? To get a real-time reading on our faith, Jesus knows exactly which question to ask in exactly the right circumstance, and this was the perfect scenario to test Philip. Had Jesus asked him how a leper could be healed and how a blind man's sight could be restored, Philip would have readily answered, "Only you can do that, Jesus." Although correct, it would have been a throwaway response. Those miracles required nothing of Philip, not even faith. Jesus knew to test Philip with a seemingly natural, albeit logically impossible, predicament. And Philip didn't do so great. His math problem exposed his faith problem, which was exactly the point. I'm sure most of us can relate to Philip. We marvel at who Jesus is and what he can do, but as soon as he asks us to participate in a miracle, we immediately go into logistics mode and start crunching the numbers. Often our conclusion isn't any better than Philip's. Consequently, our prayers reflect our lack of faith and become little more than a grim report derived from human assessment. I did the math, Lord, and a year and a half's wages won't cover this college tuition or these medical bills or a multiple season series about the life of Christ. Oh, modern day Philip that we are. This question is a test, and the test is an invitation. It's an opportunity to shift our focus from what we can't do to what he is going to do. Jesus didn't ask Philip, "Where are you going to get the bread?" He asked, "Where are we going to get the bread?" He was inviting Philip to jump into the same stratosphere, put down his silly calculator, hold out his empty hands, and watch Jesus do impossible math. So, yeah, when Jesus asked us to do something as simple as get some, well, that wasn't really simple, 5,000 people, where was he going to get the food, is what Philip's thinking. But he had already seen the miracles. So sometimes we think, how is this ever going to come out well? How are we going to see a result? When it seems like we can logistically or logically think about a situation, which we do because we're logical thinkers, but Jesus asks us, how can we do this? Or what can we do? It means he's inviting us to be part of the miracle. So what is our response? Should be, I can't do much, Jesus, but you can do all things. That's where the nothing is impossible with God, peace came from the Apostle Paul. So nothing is impossible with God. And yet sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is yes when we pray, and sometimes the answer is wait. But in that prayer and through those dark situations, God is still at work. God never stopped working. So look for the God moments. Look for God in those dark times. See where God is working, and see where you can jump on the stratosphere, or jump in the bandwagon with Jesus and work with him as he performs a miracle. And that miracle may not be physical healing. That miracle may be spiritual healing. That miracle may be people coming to faith through praying for people they don't know. We don't know what the miracles are until we look back and maybe even sometimes hear the testimonies of others that came to know Jesus through a simple prayer for someone for healing. Jesus is the miracle maker, so he can do all kinds of things. So our prayer focus today is ask God to increase your faith so that your answers always involve Jesus. Praise Jesus for testing you and inviting you to participate in what he's already doing. Like I said, God's already working. He has been. He doesn't stop. Doesn't take a rest. Doesn't need any sleep. He's working. Give him all the glory for doing impossible math on our behalf. So if you have an impossible situation, or even a possible situation where you might be able to handle part of it yourself, always involve Jesus. Ask Jesus for help. Help him to, or ask him to show you where the miracles are happening, because sometimes miracles are, like I said, someone coming to faith through praying for someone, or through the eyes of a child, or through some scenery, or through some place that you're in right now in your life that you don't think you're ever going to survive. You will survive, and Jesus will be with you, and he will guide you and lead you through that, and that will become your testimony. So moving forward, what is your default? Do you tend to evaluate impossible situations like financial debt, a medical report, prodigal loved ones, naturally, or do you look to the one who can fix supernaturally? Describe a time when you knew the Lord was testing you. How did you do? What was the result? God already has a plan. What current impossible situation is he inviting you to participate in? So that is our devotion today. Always include Jesus in your plans. Even if you think you can handle it yourself, include him. Because 9 times out of 10, he's got a supernatural answer for our natural answer. God's always at work and he never stops. So I'm hoping this was helpful for you today. You have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.